My fiancée made fun of my job at a high society party. So I ended our engagement then and there. I'm a 31-year-old mechanic, and I've always been proud of what I do, even though some people look down on blue-collar work. Growing up in a small town outside Detroit, I spent countless hours watching my dad work on cars in our garage. He could fix anything with an engine, and watching him work sparked something in me that never went away. After trade school and getting my certifications, I opened my own small repair shop. It's honest work that pays the bills, and most importantly, I love what I do. That's why what happened at my fiancée's office party hit me so hard. My ex, let's call her Lucy, couldn't have been more different from me. She worked in corporate marketing, always perfectly polished, surrounded by people who cared more about appearances than substance. Despite our differences, I really thought we had something special. She used to tell me how much she admired my work ethic and loved that I followed my passion. At least, that's what I thought. Everything fell apart at Lucy's company holiday party a few weeks ago. She was excited for me to meet her colleagues and see her world. I'll admit I was nervous. Suits and fancy parties aren't exactly my comfort zone, but I wanted to support her, so I agreed to go. The event was exactly what I'd pictured. Sleek, high-end, filled with people who looked like they'd stepped out of a magazine. Lucy fit right in, laughing and mingling with her coworkers while I felt like a fish out of water. But I kept reminding myself I was there for her, not them. About an hour in, things started going downhill. Lucy was introducing me to some of her colleagues when one guy, who looked like he'd never seen the inside of a garage in his life, asked what I did for a living. I run my own auto repair shop, I said simply. Before he could respond, Lucy jumped in with a laugh. Isn't that cute? He's like a modern-day grease monkey. I froze as the group chuckled. Grease monkey? I repeated, looking at her in disbelief. Oh, come on. She waved it off. It's just a joke. Don't be so serious. The group moved on, but I couldn't shake it off. It wasn't just the words, it was her tone. Like my career was some adorable little hobby, instead of a legitimate business I'd built from the ground up. The final straw came during a toast later that evening. Lucy stood up, glass in hand, thanking her team for their hard work. Then she turned the spotlight on me. And a special thanks to my fiancé, she beamed. He's not exactly a corporate guy, but he's great with his hands. If anyone's car breaks down, you know who to call. The room erupted in laughter while I sat there, my face burning as dozens of eyes turned toward me, their smiles dripping with condescension. Lucy was beaming, clearly pleased with herself. That's when I decided I wouldn't just sit there and take it. I stood up, walked over, and took the microphone. Yes, I'm a mechanic, and I'm damn proud of my career. And since we're making announcements, here's one more. Lucy isn't my fiancée anymore. We're done. Then I walked straight out, leaving a stunned silence behind me. This wasn't the first time she'd made my career the butt of her jokes. Looking back, there were so many red flags I chose to ignore, like the time she called me at work in tears, saying her car had broken down. I dropped everything, even rescheduled a major transmission repair, to rush over. When I got there, I found her standing with her cousin, both of them giggling, the car perfectly fine. See, she'd laughed. I told you I had my own personal mechanic. Just call, and he comes running. When I got angry about wasting my time and potentially losing a customer, she brushed it off. Don't be so serious. I just wanted to show my cousin how nice you are. Besides, isn't this what mechanics do? Then there was dinner with her college friends. One of them asked about my shop, seeming genuinely interested. Before I could answer, Lucy jumped in. Oh, you should see him when he comes home, all covered in grease. Sometimes I make him change clothes in the garage. Everyone laughed while she added, but hey, at least I get free oil changes, right? But tonight was the last straw. The cool night air hit me as I stepped outside, but my thoughts were anything but calm. I kept replaying her words, the laughter echoing in my head. She'd reduced everything I'd worked for to a punchline, and she'd done it in front of people who didn't even know me. Lucy came running after me. What are you talking about? You're just kidding, right? No, Lucy. You really don't get why I said that? Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was? She blinked, caught off guard. What are you talking about? The toast, I said, my frustration boiling over. You made me sound like some handyman you keep around for convenience. She laughed it off. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. Everyone loved it. I didn't, I said firmly. And it's not the first time you've done this. You've always made these little comments. But tonight, you crossed a line. Her smile disappeared, replaced by a defensive glare. You're overreacting. I was just trying to lighten the mood. By belittling me? I shot back. You claim you respect what I do, but your actions say otherwise. Do you even realize how condescending you sounded? She crossed her arms. You're being dramatic. If you can't handle a little teasing, maybe you're the one with the problem. That was it. The mask had finally slipped. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a fundamental difference in how she saw me versus how I saw myself. I'd always supported her career, but she couldn't, or wouldn't, do the same for me. I took a deep breath. Lucy, I can't do this anymore. Her eyes widened. What are you talking about? This relationship. It's over. She laughed nervously. You can't be serious. You really going to throw everything away because of one comment? It's not just one comment, I replied. It's how you see me, how you've always seen me. You don't respect what I do, and I can't spend my life with someone who looks down on me. She stared at me, her expression shifting from disbelief to anger. You're being ridiculous, she snapped. You think you're so special because you fix cars? Newsflash. It's not that impressive. Her words cut deep, but also confirmed I was making the right choice. Good luck finding someone you actually respect. Enjoy the rest of your party. Then I walked away, leaving her standing there. The fallout was exactly what you'd expect. Lucy wasted no time spinning her version of events. He's so insecure, she wrote in a group chat. I was just joking, and he couldn't handle it. Who ends an engagement over a toast? I stayed above the drama until I saw her posts on social media, painting me as controlling and oversensitive. She claimed I'd embarrassed her by ending things publicly. That's when I decided to set the record straight. I reached out to people who'd been at the party and calmly explained my side. I told them about the constant belittling, the lack of respect, and how the party was just the final straw. Most were understanding. Some even apologized for laughing at the toast. One of her coworkers privately messaged me. I never liked how she talked about you. She made it sound like she was settling for less. It hurt to hear, but it validated my decision. Lucy had never truly valued me or my work. The turning point came when her boss called me. The party incident had reached management, and they were concerned about her professionalism. I just confirmed what happened with the toast and her behavior afterward. Karma, I guess. The aftermath of the breakup was both harder and more liberating than I expected. The first few weeks were tough. I threw myself into work, pulling 12-hour days just to keep my mind occupied. But slowly, I started rebuilding my life on my terms. I used the money from selling the engagement ring to upgrade my shop's diagnostic equipment, instead of taking that vacation. It turned out to be a better investment in my happiness anyway. I could now take on more complex electronic systems and hybrid vehicles, which brought in higher-paying jobs and more interesting challenges. Word spread about our quality work, and soon we had a waiting list. I hired another mechanic, Mike, who'd just graduated from the same trade school I went to. Teaching him reminded me why I fell in love with this work in the first place. Seeing his face light up when he solved a particularly tricky problem brought back memories of my dad teaching me. The most satisfying moment came about 3 months after the breakup. One of Lucy's colleagues, the same ones who had laughed at her jokes, brought his Mercedes in with transmission issues. 3 other shops had failed to fix it, but we sorted it out in 2 days. The look on his face when he realized the grease monkey had fixed his luxury car was priceless. I owe you an apology, he said while paying the bill. What happened at that party? I should have spoken up. Lucy was way out of line. I just smiled and handed him his keys. No hard feelings. Just remember, there's no shame in honest work. I started teaching weekend workshops for high school kids interested in auto repair. It began as a way to keep busy on lonely Saturdays, but it turned into something bigger. Seeing these kids get excited about learning a trade, watching them realize they could build a career with their hands, it healed something in me that Lucy had tried to break. The shop's reputation grew. We even got featured in a local business magazine as one of the top independent garages in the area. I sent a copy to Lucy's office, not out of spite, but as a quiet reminder that success doesn't always wear a suit and tie. Some mutual friends told me Lucy had been bad-mouthing me at social events, calling me emotionally unstable and too sensitive. But others started reaching out, sharing their own stories about how she'd put them down over the years. Her true colors were finally showing. I heard through the grapevine that her boss had overheard her mocking another colleague's background at a different company event. Combined with the scene she'd made at the holiday party, it cost her that promotion she'd been chasing. Sometimes karma works in mysterious ways. The real victory, though, wasn't professional. It was personal. 6 months after the breakup, I realized I couldn't remember the last time I'd felt ashamed of my work. The need to justify my career to anyone had disappeared. I was proud of what I'd built, proud of the people I helped, and proud of walking away from someone who couldn't see my worth. I even started dating again, this time making sure to be upfront about who I was and what I did. I met Sarah, an elementary school teacher who brings her class by the shop sometimes to learn about how cars work. She gets excited when I talk about complicated repairs, actually listens when I explain things, and never once has made me feel like my job is beneath her. Looking back, the breakup was the wake-up call I needed. Lucy didn't just disrespect my career. She disrespected me, my values, and everything I'd worked for. Walking away wasn't just about ending a relationship. It was about choosing to value myself. Looking back, I realized the breakup wasn't just about the toast. It was about what the toast revealed. Lucy didn't see me as an equal. She saw me as someone to mock, to control, to use for her own ego. That's not love. Love is about respect, partnership, and lifting each other up, not tearing them down for a cheap laugh. So, if you're ever in a relationship where you feel belittled or undervalued, take this as your sign. You deserve better. Walk away, even if it's hard.